It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege and honor to interview the coach for Morehead State's head women's basketball coach, Coach Cayla Petree. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching in college basketball?
I just grew up always wanting to be a coach. I idolized Texas Tech basketball. I idolized my junior high coaches. My neighbor was the coach out at Cisco Junior College, and it's just always what I wanted to do.
Of course, what was that like going to Cisco College to play?
I actually had signed a scholarship with Stephen F. Austin, who in the late '90s, early 2000s, they were an NCAA tournament team, and I had some bad luck, had a knee injury or two. Played 3 games my junior year, tore my right ACL, played 4 games my senior year, and tore the other ACL. And so I had already signed the scholarship, but I didn't need to go redshirt, and I had the experience of a 15-year-old. So my neighbor, I told you, was the coach at Cisco Junior College. And even though that I had that scholarship and that letter of intent, we thought it was best for me to go there where I could play and get my confidence back and all that good stuff. But he and I were really close when I was growing up, and then just for my family and my friends to be able to watch, it was perfect for me.
Of course, how was that like also going to Texas Tech to play?
Well, growing up in West Texas, the Lady Raiders, they were the show. They averaged about 16,000 fans a game. Didn't matter who they were playing. High school football and girls basketball are it in West Texas. And so every little girl wants to grow up and play for Texas Tech. I was no different. Marcia Sharp, my coach, she had coached with the Olympic team. She's in the Hall of Fame. Coach Knight was the men's coach there. So it was a big deal. It was, what I worked for, and our team had a lot of success. I think the team my junior year had 11 people that made a WNBA roster. Gia Perkins and Planette Pearson were both WNBA All-Stars. I was not one of those, but it was sure fun to be with those guys. And we were ranked #1 in the country for a little bit. We lost to Duke in the Elite 8 one year, and then lost in the Sweet 16 another year. But it was a great experience for me.
Of course, during your collegiate time, what was it like getting to put on all 3 of those jerseys?
I just always loved playing basketball. I loved the opportunity to compete. I just love the whole experience of being a college athlete. I think that's something that's so very important, that you're grateful of just what you get to do. Sometimes people think about what they have to do. I have to go to practice. I have to lift weights. I have to get my shots up. You have to do all these things. No, you get to do those things. And so I just always had that appreciative attitude, and I enjoyed it, man. I was a great teammate, if I do say so myself, cheering, clapping a lot on the bench at Texas Tech. And, I had a lot of fun when I played.
Of course, after your collegiate time, what was it like getting into college coaching and going to New Mexico to start?
Well, when I was in grad school, I had an internship with the WBCA. It's the Women's Basketball Coaches Association in Atlanta, and my job was to take the national championship trophy around to the schools that had a chance to win the NCAA title. So I got to go meet all these coaches and be around all these big time programs from a behind the scenes standpoint, and it just made me miss basketball, and I was like, I have to get into coaching. And so I was lucky to get an assistant's position at New Mexico. I was only there about 8 or 9 months, but it was a great opportunity. I just had that itch to be a head coach soon, so I took that job at Cisco. You can go coach at your hometown and be a head college coach when you're 24 years old. You jump at it. But New Mexico was great. Good, really good people there.
Of course, what was that like getting to coach at your hometown and your alma mater as a new head coach?
Well, from a personal standpoint, I loved it. Again, I'm a big family person. Cisco's a town of about 3,500 people, so I knew everybody. Everybody knew me. We had a great fan support. But professionally, it was very, very rewarding, but very challenging. The program had struggled since Coach Hearn had left. That was the coach that was there when I was. He moved up to an NCAA team, Tarleton State. But you know, I was 24 years old, and to take over a team that hadn't won a game in 2 years, and it's a very rural area, really country, not a lot of resources. Again, great place, great people. But it was hard, you know, and I had a lot of support from the administration and my athletic director. They took a chance on a kid, and then they gave me the support and the resources that we needed to get that thing rolling. So learned more there than I have learned anywhere in my career. Love it, near and dear to my heart. My best friend and former assistant coach is now the head coach there, Brock Kimball. Kind of funny little story there. His dad was an assistant on the men's side when I was there playing. He was 5 years old, little burr-headed boy, riding around on his bicycle. And then our paths crossed again at Angelo State, and I wasn't able to shake him. He'd been my assistant everywhere, and finally got rid of him, sent him to be a head coach. But no, he's a great guy, and he's going to do well at that program now.
Of course, how is that like going back to your alma mater and getting to coach with some of what could have been your teammates at the time?
Oh no, it was far removed. None of my teammates were still there, but I was just very close to their age. You know, I was 24, you know, being a 2-year school, everybody had graduated. So that worked out for me. That would have been tough. It was tough being so close to their age anyway, and being a rookie head coach. But I don't know if I could have survived if they had been my teammates.
How is that like, obviously being the youngest coach in the NCAA to be a head coach?
No, obviously really rewarding. But you know, it's tough because you're learning as you go. You know, no experience till you get experience. So trial and error, and then, you know, just gaining the players' respect, gaining officials' respect, gaining other coaches in the league. You know, everything was a learning experience and a huge opportunity for growth. So just so very appreciative for that opportunity.
What was that like leaving your alma mater to go to North Texas to become the assistant coach?
Always had, I guess, starry-eyed vision, wanted to be a Division I coach. Mike Peterson, he's had success, men and women's basketball, head coach, assistant coach, every level. It even ended up being the head coach of the Atlanta Dream in the WNBA. So phenomenal X and O guy. I took that opportunity for another chance to grow. I wanted to learn, you know. I told you I had been an assistant coach for only 8 or 9 months at New Mexico. And then the 5 seasons I was at Cisco was just trial and error. So I really had never worked for anybody other than that first year as the assistant, when you know nothing, you don't even know what you don't know. And so to go work for Coach Pete, just got the opportunity to learn so much, and, you know, stole a lot of offensive things from him, but really helped me along the way.
Of course, how was that like transitioning from obviously being the head coach at Cisco to coming to North Texas where you became the assistant coach?
You know, I thought it was great because I've never really been an ego person. You're just on a team, you go to work. And the respect factor for Coach Pete that I had was so high. It was like I get the chance to go learn from this guy. So there was no adjustment at all. The only confusion was there was two Coach Petes, him and me. And so I'd always answer somebody talking to him, but I think they're talking to me. So in that regard, I was second fiddle. Somebody said Coach Pete, they weren't talking to me. But then when I became a head coach again, I got to retake my name.
Of course, how is it like going to Angelo State and South Plains College?
Both West Texas jobs, great resources, phenomenal people. Enjoyed my time at North Texas, but I'm kind of a head coach. Just the way I'm geared, I like to chase my vision and make a plan to help people be better and grow. And so just great experiences for me. Had a lot of fun, won a lot of games, met great people. So I guess that's what it's all about.
Of course, what were some of your biggest accomplishments at South Plains?
Oh, you're gonna make me brag on myself. Well, I was the National Coach of the Year by 3 or 4 organizations, WBCA, the NJCAA. Our team was ranked #1 in the country multiple times during multiple seasons. And we had a chance to win the national championship that final year that COVID shut it down. We ranked #1 in the country and just got cut short. So it was tough, but had great relationships with those kids. They went on to Power 5 schools. Everyone got NCAA scholarships after the fact. I mean, we have, I've got players at LSU, Alabama, Washington State, TCU, Hawaii, James Madison, Memphis, Pitt, Kansas State. Like they're all playing now. So it was really good team, really good players. Junior college gets a little bit of a negative vibe or whatever. But people think it's the lowest level. Texas and Florida JUCOs are not. I was really heavy international on my roster, and those guys were non-qualifiers academically because they didn't meet the ACT or SAT requirement because they didn't take it. And so we had Power 5 players at a junior college level that were doing, it was, Last Chance U. Have you seen that on Netflix? Our program was like that without all the drama. But that same mentality of, this is my proving ground. This is my springboard. They had the opportunity to play against good coaches and other good players. Like I said, Texas and Florida, those leagues are, they're comparable to a mid-major Division I, very competitive. But great experience for me as a coach. And I'm a JUCO advocate. I believe that, if you have the opportunity to go compete in one of those leagues, it's a great proving ground.
Of course, what was your time like going to the Gulf Coast State to coach?
Gulf Coast is the winningest program in junior college. And I said the Texas and Florida leagues are both, very competitive. And so I love West Texas. My best friends were the men's coach and the AD. So it was really hard for me personally to leave my comfort zone, to leave close being to my family or being close to my family. But Gulf Coast has won 6 national championships. And the thought process was, I had a little success in the West Texas region. And if I could go have success in that Florida league, it would prove that I could win anywhere with any kind of kids. And also just branch out and get another region of recruiting under my belt. And so with the ultimate goal ended up being a Division I coach. And I thought I'd have to stay there a little bit longer, but the plan was to go coach basketball, live at the beach, and get a Division I job. I didn't get to stay very long, so it was like an extended vacation with COVID. Again, there, I guess 10 months, and 5 months were shut down. So I spent a lot of time at the beach, but it was great.
Of course, what was that like getting that call from Morehead State to become their next coach?
I was actually at the beach, and a couple of my friends were I walked away from them. They were about 50 yards away. And, it's a lifelong dream for me. And I was standing up on a sand dune, and I started like jumping and waving like, I got it. And, you can hear the wind and the waves. I was talking to Jamie Gordon. I was like, yes, sir. I want it. I'm so excited, I was pumped, not gonna lie. Just, what I worked for my whole life. And I knew going into it, it was going to be a challenging year because of the timing of it, with where recruiting was and how many the roster was, pretty depleted, just in terms of sheer numbers when I took the job. So it was rough, but I knew that going in and weathered the storm, and just excited to grow this program and see what we can do.
Of course, what was that feeling like during the press conference when you got announced as the next head coach at Morehead?
Just joy. I mean, if you want to break it down, just excitement, for the possibilities, thankful for the opportunity. Just like ever since I was a little kid, wanted to be a coach. And then it turned into, I want to be a basketball coach, or I'm sorry, I want to be a college coach. And then it turned out that I want to be a Division I coach. And for that to actually happen was, pretty cool. I'm just a country girl from a town of about 3,500 people. And, I worked really hard to make it happen. So, again, junior college kind of gets, people don't respect it like they need to. I know a lot of people that might not be successful in junior college because you have to do everything. You don't have all the support staff and the resources. So you have to truly love coaching and the grind. But to get that chance, I think, like somebody said, like the last 35 years, there's been like 5 or 6 people that have made the jump from head JUCO coach to head Division I coach. And so I don't say that in a bragging way. I say that in a humble, so thankful, so grateful to the people at Morehead State, Jamie Gordon, the people that are taking a chance on me.
Of course, what was that like, obviously rebuilding the culture at Morehead State to make it your own culture?
It's still in progress. Like I said, we had to weather the storm last year. Was tough. But everything good takes work. We have a brand new team. We have 15 new players. We have 3 new coaches. The only returning faces are mine, our student assistant, Jack Roberson, who came with me from Florida. And then Janae Rose is a freshman post player, and everybody else is brand new. So we hit the ground running. It was really important to me to recruit good quality people. And I know people say that, but like it was a point, like it was a deal breaker. If I didn't feel like somebody was just a great human, a nice person, I passed on some talent. It was really important for me to recruit people that love to play basketball, because it's too hard to do all the things we're going to ask you to do if you don't love it. And then we got specific, but we recruited to the culture that we want, and hit the ground running in July. And we talk about it every day, who we are, what we want to be, and then hold each other accountable. And it's just a continuous growth mindset.
Of course, who are some of the teams that you face each week in your conference?
Morehead State is in the Ohio Valley Conference, the OVC. Very, let me see, how do I say it? it's a historic conference. It's been around. I think it's like the sixth or seventh oldest conference in the country. But we have Tennessee State, Tennessee Tech, Southeastern Missouri, Southern Indiana, Little Rock, University of Arkansas, Little Rock is new. Lindendale is new. SIUE. But we have an at-large bid. If you win the conference tournament, we can make the NCAA. And so it's respected. It's a skill league, a shooting league, great coaches and players, and it's Division I basketball. So we love it.
Of course, what is that like, obviously getting to play against Tennessee Tech and Tennessee State?
The coaches there, they're completely different styles, but respect them a lot. It's funny you mentioned them. Those two teams are going to be two of the best in the league. Coach Kim at Tech, she's had so much success. And then Tennessee State was kind of in a rebuilding year a couple of years ago, and for him to go from kind of a situation like we're in right now to a team that can be in the conversation to win the league just proves how awesome he is, and what a great job he's doing there. So it'll be tough, but it's a battle, but that's why we play, right? It'll be fun.
Of course,
here's a fun fact. Joe Foley at Little Rock is the third winningest active coach in the NCAA, the UConn coach and the Stanford coach, and then Joe Foley at Arkansas Little Rock. So definitely got some wins under his belt. I think 800 or 900.
Of course, what does a typical game day look like as you as a coach versus obviously as a player?
There's just so much more preparation. We do a ton of scouting, a ton of video, just making sure everything, like as a player, you don't really appreciate what all has to get done to make the event happen. We do everything, we get the gear ready, we get the court ready, we get, the scouting report. You just go down the list of everything that has to get done. And the game's the fun part. You do your work beforehand, and then the game's the test. So I love coaching. It makes me happy.
What is that feeling like for you on game day, getting to sit on that first seat and have everything right on you and also be in control of the game?
I've always been a player's coach, so I don't really think of it like that. I feel a lot of pressure. I get nervous, but ultimately it's about the players and just putting them in a position to be successful, making sure they have a great experience. I think if people are happy and they feel good, they're going to play good. And it's just, for me, it's just always been about, this is where you're at. This is where you want to be. What can we do to progress you along that track of whatever it is you're pursuing, to help you?
Of course, as a coach, do you have any game day routines and rituals that you do before the game?
I'll tell you something I don't do, and I need to. I always forget to eat. So by the time game starts, I'm starving. So you might catch me, trying to sneak around to the media room or the concession stand to grab a Diet Mountain Dew and a Snickers or something. But I need to eat better. Don't take my nutrition advice. Big music person, so I listen to stuff nobody else would want to listen to, that classic rock or country music, or maybe a podcast or something. But I'm pretty boring.
Of course, what are some of your future plans for Morehead State's women's basketball program?
I'm not shy about saying it. I want to win the league. I want to make the NCAA tournament. This is a great place that people don't know about. Phenomenal people. I owe them everything. They gave me a chance when nobody else would. I had a lot of interviews and didn't get hired at other Division I schools. And so I want to make this great. Men's basketball has went to the NCAA tournament. Volleyball has went to the NCAA tournament. Both of those have had big upsets on against Power 5 schools. And so it can be done. And so I want to get our program like the other programs on campus, where they're in a real conversation to play for championships and make the postseason.
What does the recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to come to Morehead?
The first thing is, you got to be a good person. You got to make the NCAA requirements academically. And I think it's really important that you go to a school that there's great basketball players that might not be a fit for my system, our system. I don't like to say my, there's all kinds of different ways to play. And so that fit is, you need to go to a place where they value what you're good at. And it doesn't mean you're not good at something if you can't do what they do, but I value shooting, I value skill, I value toughness, defense, just a motor, a never-ending motor. I don't like potential. I would rather have somebody that produces rather than somebody that has potential. So I might take a chance on somebody that just plays crazy hard, rather than somebody that has all the intangibles, the length, the bouncy athleticism. But if you can't make that race car go because it doesn't have any gas in it, what good's it having a race car, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course, what does the official visit look like for those prospective student athletes coming on campus?
I am different than most coaches. I've never really been a flashy type. I'm not fake. Everything about me is pretty genuine. So I get the vibe of what the athlete is interested in. And then we want to answer every question. We want to get them, we want them to feel comfortable and give a true representation of what their life would be like here. So they come to a practice, they come to a game, they tour campus, they eat in the cafeteria, they see the dorms, they meet everybody, they spend a lot of time with the coaches. We do some of the glitz and glamour stuff with the photo shoots and the NCAA, they have a lot of rules of what we can and can't do, but we make them feel pretty special. But I really think that's why there's so many transfers. People spend so much time begging people to come to their school and telling them, all these things of how things are going to be, and rather than just being genuine, and letting the kid decide if it's a good fit. Because if it's not a good fit, no one's going to be happy.
Of course, as a coach, what is it like, and especially as a head coach, seeing them put on that jersey for the first time?
A lot of people have that goal to play Division I basketball. They were little girls that started with a goal a long time ago. And so it's a big deal to, put on the jersey, to see the name on the front. But also, high school players don't put their last name on the back of the jersey. So again, just being a part of the process of somebody chasing their dream, fulfilling their dream, it's pretty special. Makes you feel fuzzy, warm and fuzzy.
What advice would you give those high school athletes that are looking to play college basketball?
I just think that people have no idea of what it really takes to do it. It's not just the hour and a half practice that you're used to in high school. I mean, it's nutrition, hydration, sleep, weight room, agility, recovery, mobility, film study, skill development, study hall, academics, and games. It's a lot. It's a full-time job. And so don't be just blinded by the bright lights of trying to go to the highest level. Go to a place where you're valued, go to a place where you fit the system, and go to a place where the people are good and they genuinely care about you. Because it's rough to do all of that stuff. You want to make sure you're surrounded with good people.
What advice would you give those people that are looking to go professionally in the WNBA or even overseas?
We talk about this all the time. I said that this is where you're at, this is where you want to go, and this is what you have to do to get there. You don't become a pro. We have a lot of guys that are third year. They're not going to become a pro in 2 years. They become a pro right now, and they develop that professional mindset. So it takes what it takes. There is no secret formula, no magic secret. Like, you have to just check off the boxes, and the consistency. It's hard. The higher up you go, the less people you are. You got to do whatever you got to do to not get scraped off and keep climbing, keep growing and keep working. Same thing for players. Success in anything is just working, grinding, showing up.
Of course, what advice would you give those future head coaches looking to get started in the industry of coaching?
I think, and this I'm preaching to myself, I think you got to have a continuous growth mindset. Like, there's so much out there. You can learn from everybody at any level of basketball. And sometimes just stop talking. You already know what you know. And so listen to what somebody else knows. And I think you go a lot farther, learn a lot more if you just try to get better instead of telling everybody how much you do know. And then the big thing is it's about the kids. So many coaches, you had to fight that disease of me. And, it's not look at me. It's not, my program, all of those things. It's about the kids that trusted you with the thing they love the most, and that's basketball and their future. And then the parents that trusted you with the thing they love the most, that's their kids. And so I never have taken that lightly. That's all. No fancy answer.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Morehead State women's basketball program?
Everything is just at Coach Petree, Petree. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook's my name, and then just the team page is just Morehead State WBB. And so just type in Morehead State women's basketball or WBB in the search bar, you'll be able to find us. See all kinds of goofy stuff, see some stuff from my family, see some motivational things, but you can definitely follow along and kind of see a behind the scenes look of what we do. Social media has just changed the game in, I don't want to say recruiting, but just the access to programs. You can get a real inside look of what things go on a day-to-day basis. My assistant coaches, I tell them if they see something cool, pull it out and film it during practice, so we can put it on our story. And then, the interviews, all that. It's fun.
Thank you again, Coach Petree, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as you begin this journey at Morehead State.
Thank you so much for having me.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Cayla Petree, for your interview, and best of luck in your future at Morehead State.
Thanks, Brandon.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.